Your passport is about to become a paperweight. Think I'm joking? Try walking up to a border agent in Paris or Rome this summer and expecting that satisfying clink-clonk of a rubber stamp on a fresh page. It's not happening. In fact, if you show up at the airport without having done your digital homework, there's a very real chance you won't even be allowed to board your flight. The Europe you visited 2 years ago is gone. The rules have been completely rewritten, and 2026 is the year the digital Iron Curtain officially drops. We are talking about biometric data harvesting, mandatory pre-travel permission slips that cost money, and a total overhaul of how you move between countries. I've spent 15 years in the trenches of international travel strategy, and I've never seen a shift this seismic. I've seen travelers get stranded because they didn't know about a minor visa tweak, but what's happening in 2026? This is a total system reboot. I know you've been dreaming of that Mediterranean summer or that Christmas market in Munich, but if you don't adjust your game plan right now, that dream is going to end at the check-in counter. I'm going to break down the 5 massive changes that are legally mandatory as of this year. Stick with me, because the second one on this list is the reason thousands of Americans are going to be turned away at the gate this season. If you want to actually make it to the Eiffel Tower instead of the TSA rejection lounge, you need to hit that subscribe button because I'm giving you the 2026 survival blueprint for free. Here is the absolute first thing you need to realize. The passport stamp is officially dead. Since the phased rollout that started last year, the EU has finally pulled the plug on manual processing. As of April 10, 2026, the Entry-Exit System, or EES, is fully 100% operational across the Schengen area. What does that actually mean for you? It means when you land, you aren't looking for a guy with a stamp. You're looking for a kiosk that wants your face and your fingerprints. This is the biometric lockout. The first time you enter Europe in 2026, you're going to be pulled aside to create a digital profile. They're taking a high-res facial scan and 4 fingerprints. This data lives in their system for 3 years. Now you might be asking, what's the big deal? I do that at the office. Here's the catch. The margin for error has dropped to 0. Because everything is digital, the system is now automatically tracking your 90-day rule. In the old days, you might have overstayed by a day or two, and a tired border agent would just wave you through because they didn't want to do the math on your stamps. Not anymore. The second your 90 days are up, the system flags you. It doesn't sleep, it doesn't get tired, and it doesn't take bribes. If you overstay by even 6 hours in 2026, you are looking at an automatic ban from the entire continent. No, oops, no excuses. But it gets worse. Because this system is so new, the phased rollout has been a mess of tech glitches. If your middle name is on your passport but not on your airline ticket, the EES might not be able to link your biometrics. And if the computer says no, the border agent must say no. This is why your paperwork needs to be airtight before you even leave your house. But while the EES is a headache at the border, there's another change that starts before you even leave your living room. That before you leave your house moment? That's where the second major change hits, and it's called ETIAS. If you're a US citizen, you've spent your whole life just buying a ticket and flying to Europe. No questions asked. But as of the final quarter of 2026, that era is officially over. You now need a digital hall pass called the European Travel Information and Authorization System. Think of it like the US ESTA, but for 30 different European countries. It's not a visa, but don't let the semantics fool you. Without it, the airline will not let you on the plane. Period. You'll be standing at the gate in JFK or LAX watching your vacation fly away because you didn't spend 10 minutes on an app. The application fee is about €20, roughly $22, and for most of you, it'll be approved in minutes. But here's the knowledge gap I promised. That minutes part is only if your data is perfect. If the system flags a typo in your passport number or a yes on a security question, That approval can take up to 30 days. Imagine booking a $4,000 non-refundable villa in Tuscany and realizing 3 days before the flight that your ETS is pending. It's a nightmare scenario that's going to happen to thousands of people this year because they treated it like an afterthought. But wait, it gets even more complicated if your itinerary includes London. This brings us to change number 3. The UK's Electronic Travel Authorization, or ETA. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'll just get the ETIs and I'm good for the whole region, right? Wrong. The UK is no longer in the EU, and they've launched their own separate system that is now strictly mandatory as of February 25, 2026. If you are flying into London and then taking the Eurostar to Paris, you need 2 different digital permissions. The UK is not playing games with this. They've ended the grace period. In 2025, they were letting some people slide if they didn't know. As of right now, that tolerance is 0. The UK ETA costs £16, it's linked to your passport for 2 years, and, here is the kicker, you need it even if you are just transiting through Heathrow to get somewhere else. I've seen travelers stuck in the terminal, unable to even catch their connecting flight to Italy, because they didn't have a £16 digital code for the UK. Don't be that person. It feels like a lot of digital red tape, right? Well, it's because the European authorities are moving toward a check once, track everywhere model. And while you're worrying about apps and fees, there is a hidden change happening to the actual map of Europe that could bankrupt your 90-day travel window if you aren't careful. I know this sounds like a lot to juggle, but trust me, knowing this now is the difference between a dream trip and a legal nightmare. If this is saving you a massive headache, do me a favor. Hit that like button. It helps the algorithm push this to other travelers before they get stranded. Now, you might be asking, if I have my ETIAS and my UK ETA, I'm safe, right? Not quite. Because while the borders are going digital, the rules of the countries themselves are getting a lot more expensive. Wait until you see your hotel bill. If you thought the digital paperwork was a headache, your wallet is about to feel the actual over-tourism hangover. We are entering the era of the tourist surcharge, and in 2026, it's not just a few loose euros left on the nightstand. Cities like Amsterdam and Barcelona have effectively declared war on budget travel. In Amsterdam, a massive VAT hike on hotels, jumping from 9% to 21%, combined with their existing room tax, means you're basically paying a 33% existence fee just to sleep there. But it's the dual pricing that's going to shock you at the ticket counter. For decades, the Louvre or the Palace of Versailles cost the same for everyone, not anymore. As of this year, if you aren't an EU resident, you're paying a non-EU attraction surcharge. We're talking about $32 for the Louvre, a nearly 50% jump. They are literally charging you more because of the passport you hold. And then there's Venice. The city has officially expanded its access fee. If you're a day tripper visiting during peak weekends between April and July, you have to pre-book a QR code just to walk into the city. If you don't, you're looking at a $300 fine. Now, you might be thinking, fine, I'll just head east where it's cheaper. Well, that brings us to change number 4, the Schengen expansion. Bulgaria and Romania are now fully 100% in the Schengen zone, land borders and all. This is great for convenience because you can drive from Greece into Bulgaria without a border check, but it's a trap for your 90-day clock. In the past, travelers would reset their 90-day European limit by hopping over to Romania for a few weeks. That loophole is officially closed. Every day you spend in Bucharest or Sofia now counts against your total Schengen allowance. Plus, as of January 1st, Bulgaria has officially ditched the lev and adopted the euro. It's more convenient, sure, but expect those Eastern European prices to start climbing toward Paris levels fast. Before I give you my final 2026 survival checklist, I need you to check one thing on your passport right now. It's the hidden expiry rule. Even if your passport says it expires in 6 months, if it was issued more than 10 years ago, most of Europe considers it expired today. Check the date of issue. If it's over 10 years, you will be denied boarding. This is the one reason people are getting turned away at the gate this year. Here's your no stress 2026 checklist. Check the 10-year rule. Your passport must be less than 10 years old on the day you enter Europe. The 6-month buffer. Make sure you have at least 6 months of validity left after your planned return date. The digital trio. Get your ETAs for the EU, your ETA for the UK, and keep those QR codes in a dedicated folder on your phone. Budget for the hidden 20%. Add 20% to your lodging and museum budget to cover the new 2026 surcharges. Europe is still the most incredible place on Earth to visit, but the days of winging it are dead. You have to be a digital pro now. I've put together a specific 2026 packing and tech list of the 5 apps you need to navigate these new biometric kiosks without losing your mind.